everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sandy Bottom's Crystal Cast. I am sitting here with Bobby and Joyce from Charm City Crystals, and we are in their lovely home, and we're going to talk about crystals and find out what brought them to the magical world of crystals. I'm going to let them talk about crystals, and they're going to tell you all about how they got started.
Cool. So we were crystal enthusiasts. We're really enjoying crystals, and we bought some, and then we basically wanted to share that with other people. And we also, once we got into the wholesale end of it, we realized how much of a markup there was on so many of these things, and we basically wanted to make it more affordable. We just love it, and we really wanted to share it. And like I said, not to be too commercial about it, but we wanted to keep the prices in people's wheelhouses. We can make a little bit of money, and we can, with us selling it for less, we can get it out to a lot more people. Mm-hmm. And we hope that they're as jazzed about it as we are.
Oh yes, there's a lot of people out there that are in love with crystals.
Yeah.
Everywhere you go, crystals are appearing everywhere, especially with the pandemic. That really brought up it to the surface more so than it ever has been.
Yeah. And that's when our interest kind of spiked in it. And after the pandemic was over, when we really started getting into it, originally our thought was to do lives on Facebook or Instagram. And then I started researching festivals, and that's what really we thought we could hit the most people, and it was a lot more personable that way. We get to interact with the people. They get to learn, we get to learn, and part of it is with our excitement, we get to share, their joy and everything. And it's just so much fun when we go out and do festivals, because we just meet some of the most unique people, and we get to see their excitement. And I mean, people get so excited, when they see these crystals. I mean, so do I. It's I go by and I'm shiny, pretty, and, just as excited. And they're the same way, little kids who are just oh, rocks, or adults that are have been in the whole thing for years. Mm-hmm. It's everybody, like you said, loves crystals.
Yeah.
That's one thing at a lot of the festivals. Folks will come up to us and they're looking at our stuff and they're like, "Your stuff is beautiful," and I have to pause and thank them first, because I just want to go, "Yeah, we think so," but I'll say that to them. I'll thank them and they'll go, "Yeah, we think so too. That's how we got involved in this business. We absolutely loved them." And all of our stuff that we buy now, when we first got involved in it, I wasn't aware that I could handpick every piece, whether it's in person or not. Mm-hmm. And we handpick, every single piece that we sell, and every single piece that we sell is something that we would want for ourselves.
Now, where do you get your crystals?
Primarily going to shows, whether at different states and things like that, so that we can actually sift through everything that's there, so that we can look at the quality and speak to the individuals to find out where the mine is and who they're dealing with, so that we're assured that there is nothing negative on the back end,
right, or on the front end,
front end. And I mean, me going to a show, I love going to shows and going through and hand-picking every little thing. We'll go to a show and I'll think, "Oh, we'll just be here 1 or 2 hours." 5 hours later, right. I'm still picking through, going another hour, another, just a little bit longer. I want to go look at this, because I do want to pick out the most beautiful stuff. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to get rid of, but we want to pass that on to people too.
Well, the thing is, Joyce is always looking at the money. I had mentioned to you earlier when we were chatting that, she'll be like, "Well, we already have that." And I'm like, "Well, but the price is right, and, we don't know when we're going to see it again. Just because a crystal's here today doesn't mean it's going to be here tomorrow."
Right.
But when we actually go to the physical shows, she goes absolutely insane, buying stuff. So if I go, she'll critique it a little bit. If she goes, she's like, like we're going to be here for a little while, just buy more and more stuff. But it's so much fun for us. We also deal remotely with some folks across the globe. That again, we vet them as best we can to make sure that that they're ethically sourcing things. Like I said, it's very important to us. We've developed relationships with a lot of folks all over the world. I mean, we deal remotely with folks from Pakistan, Florida, right? China. There's a lot of fake stuff. That for whatever reason China seems to be the epicenter for that, or at least the epicenter of the reputation for that sort of thing. So again, we have to be very cautious about what we're purchasing, which we weren't really that aware of when we first got involved. We were like, hey, that's pretty and it's a good price, let's get it. And believe it or not, I mean, it's taken a minute, but I'm actually learning what to look for. There's always something new to learn.
Yes,
which
absolutely.
It's just one of the things that we absolutely love. About
yes.
Basically we're learning something new every day, and
they're discovering mines all the time,
Oh,
and as the world changes,
absolutely.
This mineral's deposited or that one, which changes just the slightest thing, which creates something completely different. Or I love looking at certain crystals, and when you can see just the layers of the growth of it, and it's incredible that something that beautiful,
comes
that
out of the earth.
Yes,
exactly.
That way.
Yes,
just
ma'am.
like-
Yeah.
That's how I got my name for my website, Sandy Bottom, because crystals come from the bottom of the earth, and I'm thinking, that is such a great name for my website, because they come from the bottom of the earth, and
Right.
it's like amazing that things can be created like that, and we don't even know that they're there until like the earth shifts, or there's an earthquake, or something happens in the atmosphere that causes this these stones to come up,
Right.
and we can find them.
And all the things that occur to make them into what they are,
Exactly.
is just it's
Exactly.
it's
The
mind-boggling.
water, or something happens to these crystals that causes them to be
Or,
created.
like you said, like amethyst. You love amethyst, and people don't realize what comes out of the ground is then polished and put into a ring or a necklace. And
Yep.
you tell somebody that, and they're just like, really? That's
Like
and it's
natural?
like, yeah, it's
Yes.
you find this pocket, you dig it up, and then it's taken
Yes.
to a jeweler, and it's made into beautiful jewelry.
Yep,
but
like the
it's
Herkimer
just as
diamonds,
beautiful
yep.
Right.
raw.
Exactly.
And
exactly.
people just are amazed by that.
Yep.
We're amazed by it.
Yeah.
It's, but yeah, like a cool. I mean, like with what you're doing, you have such a passion for crystals, and to be able to go out and interact with so many different people that are in the business and see so much different material. How much fun is that?
Oh, I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I
Yeah.
just love meeting people and talking about what they do and seeing what they collect. It's just mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I love it. I wouldn't want to do anything else.
Like the thing with festivals, like with amethyst, I was talking to a girl that had been through all kinds of crazy things, and she was looking for a piece of amethyst because it's the stone for sobriety, and I had no idea that it was for that. So you learn so much, or from the people that you're meeting at these different festivals and things. And like I said, when we end a show, it's kind of sad, because I leave on a high, but it's still like we met so many people, and I can't wait to do our next festival to see what kind of people. Or when people come up, and they're like, oh, we saw you at this show. I'm so glad that you're here because I wanted to get this, or, I wanted to bring my friends to, do this. And it's just like, it just makes you feel like
Fabulous.
you've contributed something to, this person, or, that you're spreading the love. And
Exactly.
that's what it's all about.
Exactly, because even if they don't get that crystal from you that one particular time, when you come back, or when they come back to see you the next time, they'll get that crystal the next time.
Right. Right.
And because they might not need it that time, but then
Exactly.
when you come back, they'll need it the next
Right.
time.
Yep.
Or when they
It's
come to you
fantastic,
and they'll
yeah.
say, "Oh, I don't know which one I should pick," and they're like, "Well, what do you think?" And then, it's like, it's not really up to me. I can explain some things to you,
Right.
and they keep going, but this one.
That one's drawing, yeah.
Right,
It's
and I'm
drawing
like-
them.
We hear
Yeah.
that so often.
Yeah.
And we encourage people to put the items in their hands, to feel it. And they'll say, well, what does this one do?
Right.
And Joyce will give them, she's much more,
Intuitive.
yeah, she's much more educated about that side of it. I know a little bit, but, she'll say to people, they'll say, well, what does this do? And she'll say, well, this is generally what it's said to do, but put it in your hand. What does it do for you? How does it make you feel? And so many times we've had people that'll come up and they're going back and forth and they're like, this one just keeps calling to me. And obviously do what you want, but
If it's calling you, there's a reason for
right,
it.
you know?
And you
Yes.
don't have to feel
Yeah.
anything, but if you're just drawn to it, that's what you're feeling. You're drawn
Exactly.
to that, whether it's pretty or whatever. You're drawn or to the color or anything. And like he doesn't really get any real sensations. He'll take a crystal and he'll just be like,
Try right.
and he's just like, I don't get anything. But he'll go in and he'll just be like, I love this, and I'm like,
Right.
that's
That's
what you're
what you're
drawn
drawn
to.
to.
Right. That's
Yes.
that's
Gotta
what
have
you're
it.
feeling.
There was a circumstance where I was unboxing with someone else that's in the business, and they opened something up, and I just was like, whoa. And the woman looks at me, and she says, yeah, you don't feel anything from it. She's like, every hair on your arms is standing straight up,
Yeah.
But it's, whatever it is that I feel, I absolutely love it, and, I'm hooked.
Yeah.
I'm hooked.
It doesn't take much to
No,
get
it
hooked.
does not.
Right.
No.
So, and the real answer when you asked like how we got in the business, we're addicted to stones, and this helps us feed our addiction. This helps pay for it. It's I don't want to make light of anybody that has addiction problems, but it's just, we absolutely love the stuff, and when people. When folks come up to us at a festival, the way that I always greet them, I'll be like, hey guys, how's it going? If you have any questions, please let us know. We love talking about this stuff. And then I'll pause and I'll say to them, or if you want to educate us, we're here. Because we've had so many folks that have come up to us at festivals that are very
Knowledgeable.
Yes, ma'am. Yep, that's a good word for it. They're very knowledgeable, and they're imparting that knowledge to us. I love that back and forth, and that, like you said, you love meeting people.
Yeah.
That that face to face interaction. To me, just it's fabulous. Buying them online is great, but there's nothing that can beat that face to face.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. I've been doing. I've been working with crystals since 1987, and I'm still learning because
Right.
there's still new crystals out there that
Yep.
I don't know anything about.
Right.
Right.
Or like we were talking about before, there could be crystals that have been out there for ages, but there's so many, you just haven't been exposed to it yet. You haven't
Exactly.
stumbled across it.
Exactly.
But how much fun is that when somebody turns you on to something new that you've never seen before?
Exactly.
And that happens with us all the time.
Yeah, or somebody will come up and say, well, what's this do? And I'm like, well, I'm not really sure. Let's look it up
Right.
together.
Yep.
Yeah.
But again, we'll
Yeah.
go back to, so many people, well, what's it going to do? What's it going to do? And I'm like, we're all made of energy. So I can tell you it's, it's for love and it's going to do this, but take it, see what it does for you.
Right.
Pick it up, take it out that day, and see, it may do for you what it's not going to do for me.
Right.
I said,
That's right.
because your energy and your aura is so completely different from mine. All of our energy is different.
That's right.
So you can't really specifically say, well, this is going to make you fall in love, or, it just doesn't really work that way.
or Citrene's going to take you to the casino and
Exactly.
buy and make you win.
Exactly.
Well, and
Right.
look, people ask us, what's good for prosperity or what's good for anxiety or whatever, and we can steer them in a direction, but
Right.
ultimately it's going to be their interaction with with any particular material.
Right.
The one thing that I struggle with is when folks will come up to us and talk to us about physical issues. Sorry, I keep looking at Rob, the cameraman. Basically, like when people come up and ask us, they'll say, like, I've literally had people say to me, what's good for cancer, or what's good for, this or that. And I'm like, that I'm not going to make any type
Right.
of physical claims, whether it has any effect whatsoever, I don't know. But that's a bit of an uncomfortable, circumstance when folks are asking us. They have a real physical issue that they're dealing with, which, look, anxiety is a real physical issue, depression, et cetera, et cetera. These stones make me feel fabulous when I'm around them.
Right.
But again,
And that's what you need to tell them.
Right.
yes.
Both my books, I stress, please don't take them as take the placement of a doctor, because you can't do that.
Right.
And that's just whatever makes you feel good.
Yep.
Right.
And that's what I stress.
Yeah.
Because each person's going to feel a different way with each stone.
Yep.
With each crystal, and it depends on how they use them. Quartz I use all the time for my headaches, but it might not work that way for someone else.
Right.
And I know. So when we first got into this, and we just started with just the basic crystals, and I was just like, okay, well, now I've got to do some jewelry. And then I was like, you know what, I got to do some candles so we can have some intention candles. And so I started making the candles. And then I was one of our first things we did was a wine stroll. And I was like, oh, I'm going to do wine stoppers with crystals on them, because, people should have that in their lives. It's like all these different things are coming up. My next big thing coming up for Mother's Day, I'm doing bath bombs with surprise crystals
With surprise
in them.
crystals.
Yes,
That's a good idea.
Yes, because everybody is into the bath bomb thing. So
Right.
it's just there's a purpose for everything. So, and it's just crystals are in every part of my life. I'm sure you have them in your car. You carry them in your pockets. You have them in your bra. Or, I have them in my pocketbook at any given time. Why is your pocketbook so, heavy? Because I have crystals in them.
Yes, absolutely. You have to. They make you feel good.
Yes, exactly. Or somebody's having an issue. Wait, I have a crystal for that.
Right.
Hold on to this, and your worries are going to go away. So.
Literally, that happens. That on a fairly regular basis with us, and Joyce is like, well, wait a minute. She'll start digging through, she's digging through her purse and handing these people crystals. But yeah. But again, it's just another amazing part of, being involved in this. It's,
Exactly.
It's, when we were talking earlier, and, you mentioned the grumpy thing, but it's, so many people that we've dealt with in this industry have been insanely kind to us. We've learned so much from so many people. And once again, if basically we try to put that positive energy out to them as well, and it has, it has definitely served us well. We always have new material, material coming in. Just a hint for you guys, Sandy's buying a couple things from us today too. I tried to talk her out of it. But yeah, the only other thing that I would say to kind of put a bow on it, it's our kids have really gotten involved, and when we're doing it, it's it's the two of us and our kids out doing a show, or we'll have a friend that'll come, that'll come help us. That aspect of it too, we love. I love it.
Be more than happy to help.
Yeah. Hey, look, we'll definitely. What are you doing Saturday? I'm really.
I don't think
it's
I'm doing anything. Come to think of it. Sunday I have plans, but I don't think I'm doing anything on Saturday.
We'll pick you up on the way to Parkville. But yeah, that besides the Crystal family, our family itself, it's so much fun for us to do it together.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And there's times where you're setting up and you're like, we got to get this stuff done, and there may be a little bit of tension. But once we get through that and we get set up, and usually it's no big deal. But and just making those connections with people is so fun.
I think that's the fun part.
Yeah,
and just seeing their reaction to the crystals themselves.
And we're so flattered. We're so when people will bring their friends back, or they'll say to us, I get all my stuff from you. It's like I said, it's very humbling. It's very flattering, and we love it.
Absolutely.
More of that, please.
Yes. Well, we'll look for you at all the shows that are coming up this summer, because we know you will be there.
Right.
Yes, we will.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely.
So we have been chatting with these nice people, and we expect to see them this summer at all the crystal shows. So look for Charm City Crystals. And please make sure you purchase some of their beautiful crystals. Okay. I am Sandy Zoyke, and you have been listening to us. And this has been Sandy Bottom's Crystal Cast. And look for me on my website. And you can find me, I will spell it, SSANDY bottom.com. I almost forgot my own website. I have my 2 books out, so look for them also. They're on my website. And look for these nice people again. Like I said, this summer they'll be traveling all around, and they will be having their beautiful crystals. So good night, everybody.